To separate what is true from what is false, can you judge which are fact and which are fiction? To find out, you must enter a world of both truth and deception. A world that is beyond belief.
Hello, this is your Commodore, Ty Coles, and I'm going to go different today with my reviews. Instead of doing a specific episode of a series, I'm going to go over the entire series because that's how the series lays out for me. I can't really do a proper episode review on this, so I'm going to go and look at the entire series. The series I'm going to be reviewing is Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction. This series ran from 1997 to 2002. The reason for that is because there was a big gap between Season 2 and Season 3, and Season 3 and Season 4. It was very popular, and there are now people wanting it to come back. If you want to know, the series was created by Leon Lemon and was produced by Dick Clark's Productions. For the first 3 seasons, it was narrated by Don LaFontaine, which, man, you just listen to his narrations, they are ridiculously good. And then the 4th season, this is where people say it kind of lost its steam when Campbell Lane took over the narrations. Nothing against him, but people just thought that he wasn't as good as Don. So, for the first season, we had James Brolin be the host, and I think he did a great job with some very memorable stories, and they were very compelling, especially one called The Train.
Imagine a dark train platform on a chilly March night over 100 years ago. A rainstorm will send sheets of rain across the platform that has become dangerously crowded.
Where it was like this actor saved this child from an oncoming train.
Quickly, the actor rushes to the edge of the platform, reaches down, and with all his might, pulls the young student to safety.
And it ended up being the brother of John Wilkes Booth, and the kid was the son of Abraham Lincoln.
The actor's brother would kill the college student's father. For the actor was Edwin Booth, brother of John Wilkes Booth. And the student was Robert Lincoln, son of President Abraham Lincoln.
Could this have been fact? Well, like the spirit of the show, I'm going to tell you at the end of my video. So, his first season, it wasn't much for a set, but it had some nice lighting, and you gotta love the theme song. Because the theme song was played for all 4 seasons, and it was creepy but good too, but it gives that creepiness to it, but it was just you knew you were going to be in for some entertainment when you heard it. So after his season, we had seasons 2 to 4 were hosted by number 1 himself, Will Riker. I mean, Jonathan Frakes. As well, when Frakes took over as host, the sets became a little more elaborate, with it looking like a study with books and props and stuff and a desk.
The real and the unreal often live side by side.
And this is where these stories really get creepy as well, because he would take events from all over time. And the hardest ones I would always find out that were hard to find out if they were fact or fiction were the ones that he did during actual live event, when there was an actual event. So say if it was the Titanic sinking or the bombs on Hiroshima, they inserted stories in those. So it was hard to determine that this event happened during this event. But one of them, the best ones, was Bon Voyage, where you had these 2 couples, and they were retelling the story of their honeymoon, what was supposed to be their honeymoon, But because their rings fused together, they couldn't get out of bed. They couldn't move. So they called the jeweler to remove them. But before they could get there, the ship has left.
After sending for just the right tools, the jeweler was finally able to cut us free of the rings.
So you made it to your ship. It's a fabulous story.
It's not finished yet.
We rushed to the dock, but we were too late.
And thankful for them when the rings fused, because the ship that they were supposed to go on was the RMS Lusitania.
It was the luckiest thing that ever happened to us. You see, the ship that we were set to depart on was the RMS Lusitania. 6 days later, it was torpedoed and sunk. Almost 1,200 people died.
This was happening 22 years later, and with them and their couple, they were traveling to America on board the Hindenburg.
We're taking a car to New York tomorrow. Look, that man down there has a microphone.
They must be broadcasting the landing.
I have one last toast. Here's to this great airship, the Hindenburg.
Here, here.
So that's what I'm saying. Did this specific event happen during the crash of the Hindenburg? That was the hardest thing to figure out, because we know the Hindenburg went down, but were these couple on board? Like I say, you'll find out at the end of the video if it's true or not. But then you also have ones where they're like, if you're getting mistreated by someone, that person gets some comeuppance, and you end up getting even with that person, either by you getting some powers or someone just out of the blue coming to help you. Like the story of the Golden Q, where this senior lost his bar to a hustler.
A year ago, I got a bad break. My wife needed surgery, and I took out a loan against the business. Well, things went from bad to worse, and I ended up having to sell the place for nothing. Cocky young hustler.
Go, Nicky!
Nicky Russ.
And the hustler was treated like crap, like not giving much money or anything. So one day, as they were closing, another elderly gentleman walked in and challenged the hustler to a game of pool. Kept on losing and losing and losing.
Of course, the stranger asked for a rematch. The second game went quicker than the first. I'd seen Nicky like this before. He just couldn't lose.
But then he grabs this cue that was mounted on the wall, and he wins the game. And he wins the bar back for the old man. And it was this known hustler, this known pro pool player that was that guy. But it couldn't have been, because he was supposed to be blind.
Fair and square by the great Jack Lesko.
Jack Lesko, that's impossible.
Why?
Because Jack Lesko stopped playing pool about 15 years ago, when he went blind.
We also get medical miracle episodes, stories during the various episodes. And one was of a complete lump, like a couch potato, that all he wanted to do was watch TV. And he was a fat man.
Now, why should I go outside when I can sit home and watch nature on TV? Wow, look at that.
Disregarded his wife and everything. Has a heart attack. They come try to rescue him. Doesn't happen. So he's pronounced dead. His hand goes through the TV, shocks him, and goes back to life. Comes back to life.
Wait, set him down! Set him down!
Oh my God, what happened?
So instead of thinking, oh, I got a second chance of life and try to change it, no. He thinks television saved his life, divorced his wife, and lost his job just so he can stay with his television.
Brad Lewis, recently divorced and now unemployed, believes the television was responsible for saving his life. Now, Brad tells us he has all the time in the world to devote to his hobby, best friend, and the love of his life.
Oh boy, that was like interesting. So, and then for the final story I'm going to talk to you about today, there's also curses. They do curses episodes. And one particular that stands out is one of the hooded chair.
George Talbot had just become the current owner of the hooded chair. I could only pray for his well-being. It's really the perfect addition to your collection, Mr. Talbot.
And this guy's life is ruined because of this one chair People have died. He's almost near bankruptcy.
The chair had claimed another victim. For the next month, George Talbot's life continued to get increasingly worse. Talbot Steel was besieged by lawsuits and teetered on the brink of
And
bankruptcy.
they find out it was the chair Napoleon sat on the eve before the worst defeat in military history when he went to the Battle of Waterloo.
June 17th, 1815.
Napoleon was in a farmhouse in Belgium planning strategy for his battle the next day. That battle was in a place called Waterloo.
And the guy ended up dying because he got beat by a chair. So, out of all those, which ones could you have believed were fact, and which ones did you believe are fiction? Now, I'm going to let you guys know. The story of the train, which consisted of the brother of John Wilkes Booth and the son of Abraham Lincoln, was true. The story of the couple that survived one disaster that didn't survive another.
Well, I would like to propose another toast to the luckiest people in the world, our best friends, the Chandlers.
Oh, indeed, Charles and Gwen.
Even though it happened during actual events that we all know, this story is fiction. We made it up. We just placed it in those events to make it seem like it was a bit more true, but nope, they were not. The Golden Cue, the one where a young man was hustled by an elderly man that ended up losing his sight and gave the bar back to the original owner.
Got a pool? You hustling me?
What do you care? Can you beat me?
Play him, Nicky. You can't lose. It's 50 grand.
Sorry. Even though you wanted it to be true, that was fiction, people. And as the story of the couch potato that his life was saved by TV.
His heart's beating again.
That was complete bull. It's fiction, people. Then we got the story of the cursed hooded chair. The one that Napoleon sat on before the disaster at Waterloo, which ended up giving bad luck or causing death to anyone that has sat on it.
You're not gonna get me. I will not be destroyed by a chair.
Believe it or not, that was actually based on actual events. This is fact. So there's the review of the series, Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction. If you want to watch any of it, you can watch the various clips on YouTube. You could also watch it for free on the Tubi app. And you can also purchase the 4 seasons on Amazon, but that's only available in the United States. So for your Commodore tycoons, live long and prosper. Hailing frequencies closed.
Thank you for watching the video. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, watch one of my other videos, and if you can show your support by donating to my PayPal.
So for Commodore Ty, live long and prosper. For now, until next time, the hailing frequencies are closed.